I am Poland. Look at my flag.
Reverse Poland. As we jump on in here too. Oh, this is actually apparently streamed by the Polish stream. Good to hear. Should I follow Indy's camera then?
No.
Anyway, we are going to be jumping into Data C. We're in the top right-hand corner map, running all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Poland. He is, of course, going to be representing KZ Gaming. KZG. He is Spirit.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have his opponent, the Polish blue Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. But shout out to IndieK. IndieK is the largest Polish caster, of course, natively casting in Polish. And yeah, he, of course, it doesn't surprise me that he dove on top of this series at the time.
Top of his group.
It's all over me.
Bit of collusion going in there. You know, Indy slipping a little something to Sinistro. So you can cast the Polish voice. I see how it is.
There we go, there we go. He can only ever cast one group, so he needed all of them in that one group, mate. But yeah, this wasn't casted in English, so again, that is why we are here with us today. And yeah, I'm really curious to see where this will go, because these two players are pretty similar in skill. I think I want to say that in recent times, maybe Spirit has been getting a couple of better results.
Yeah, I definitely think that ever since joining KZ Gaming, Spirit has really, I wouldn't say made a name for himself, but he's really kind of proving himself in those upper echelons of not just Poland, but in the EU scene in general. I think for a while, if we were talking about top Terran players in EU, it would pretty much just be Clem, Hero Marine, and Euthermal.
Yeah.
But now I think Spirit is starting to become a bit of a fourth amigo, or a fourth musketeer in that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would probably say that, especially because Euthermal has, Ubu Thermal. I should clarify.
Oh, right, yeah, obviously. Ever since he's moved to Mexico.
Well,
yeah.
he's pseudo-retired at this point. He said so himself, so I think at this point, Spirit's probably top 3 Terran in the EU.
Yeah, I don't think many people would really contest that.
Yeah, so he's just really done a lot for himself. I mean, you have to be an amazing player if you're going to be scouted and picked up by one of the Chinese teams as well. So yeah, it's really cool to see Spirit, you know, doing well, not just over the course of the year, but over the course of his career, getting to this point. But can he go even further at this LAN event here in the land of the Americas? Is MaNa.
Well,
he does not open up Oracle.
That he doesn't. That's a Phoenix. A little bit of an older school PvT opening here. More, I say old school. It's like 2020, 2021. It's not super old school. It's just like the previous meta opening, shall we say.
Yeah. So he's going to be starting Phoenix production very, very early on. The first one is already out, the second in a couple of seconds. So this hits a little bit later than like Oracle Harass, for example, but it's going to be a little bit hidden. Meanwhile, Spirit needs to figure out what's going on. He dives in towards the natural base. He's looking to try and get some economic damage.
Yeah, interesting choice here to go to prioritize economic damage over scouting information. I have to imagine that part of that may be just because, you know, Spirit and MaNa, they both play in a lot of those Polish cups that people that they do organize over there. So I have to imagine that Spirit feels pretty familiar with MaNa's playstyle, but this is a complete screwball being thrown his way.
Yeah, 100%. They do play quite often. We do have a double Widowmine drop headed throughout the center of the map. This was just scattered by an Adept, so MaNa's fully aware. The Phoenixes move into position, and surprise, we opened up Phoenixes.
This medevac's gonna go down. You know what? I was saying, you know, maybe Spirit is familiar with MaNa's playstyle, but now I think it might be the other way around.
Yeah.
Feels like MaNa specifically went Phoenixes to counter the Mind Drop.
It really did. Like, again, MaNa did such a great job at hiding his Stargate and hiding his Phoenixes, and Spirit had no idea what he was running into, and already his opener just kind of falls on its face.
Like so. Now, obviously, as this is a TvP, you know, Spirit already has a lot of Marines. He was already getting that Cyclone to defend against something like Oracles, but they worked pretty well against Phoenixes. Who would have thought?
Oh my god, and here we go. The Viking's going to go down as well, but it goes down at the cost of a Phoenix. Nice lock on there by Spirit, so he's able to fight back in some way, but everything else is being scattered. We have confirmation of the 3 Iraqs follow-up, quite standard here. No fast third CC or anything like that.
And he even gets a delay on that third Rax as well. Yeah, everything is just about gone MaNa's way, and at the start of this game now, he's even getting a Colossus to be able to defend against that eventual +1 push that Spirit's going to go for. Yeah, Spirit, he's either going to have to commit 110% into this push, or he's going to have to switch gears and play a bit more economical.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to commit. I wouldn't be surprised if he even pulls a couple of boys, not going to lie. Because MaNa's getting into something that Protosses no one love, and that is Phoenix Colossus, and that is something that Terran no one hates.
Oh, yeah. Tell me.
Oh boy, so this is just a really strong way to shut down any anti-air and any anti-ground. Of course, MaNa has a window here where he's vulnerable, but look at this observer placement. He sees the army as it moves out. He is going to be getting ready at home.
Yeah, starting to reposition himself a little bit by his third base location. Gateway Explosion is just about to finish exploding. That just rounds off MaNa's transition.
Yeah, and as the army moves out, the Phoenixes move in, and they've picked off, what, 3, 4, 5 units already. They just keep picking up reinforcements, and Spirit, it's taking him a while, but here we go. He's finally committing. He's going for a double drop across the map.
Yeah, interesting choice here, and I guess you might as well. You know, he knows that the Phoenixes aren't going to be able to bother him as he goes into the main base, but the Zealots will, and the Colossus will. And now the Phoenixes, now that they've repositioned, will as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that the Phoenixes actually recalled back home, so Spirit's like, oh, he's harassing me, he won't be at home. Nah, mate. MaNa was ready and waiting, so the double drop doesn't quite do anything. I love the Widowmine placement. It looks like Spirit wants to try and bait the Phoenixes over as they were chasing the Medivacs, but MaNa, he didn't take the bait.
Oh, but he's tempted to. He's staring at those Medivacs across the gap. He wants to take him out, but he knows that there are mines waiting for him.
Yeah, he has to be so careful. At the same time, another double drop here on the right-hand side is going to slip in towards the third base. Shield batteries and cannons are here to defend, and it looks like the Colossi, or the army, is split up well enough to be able to hold on to both the main and the third.
Yeah. That's kind of the big strength of Phoenix Colossus. You were talking about it earlier. Very strong anti-air, very strong anti-ground. They're a little bit vulnerable if they get caught out in the middle of the map, but for defensive purposes, there is not many better alternatives here for Protoss, at least in PvT.
Yeah, and speaking of defensive purposes, like MaNa, he now is getting his fourth base up and running. He's already starting to Maynard workers over, and he's had enough. He's pushing out across time. He does come across the army, and now Spirit has to make a choice. Does he go for the drops? And he will.
And he lands right on top of this Colossus. Will be able to take it out.
Yeah, it does get a Colossus. The Widowmine shots are going to be going off for the Phoenixes as well. So great target firing here by Spirit. At the same time, another double drop in towards the third is going to get cleaned up. But at the same time, MaNa commits to his push, and he forces a lift on the third.
Yeah, we are in full base trait mode right now. The War Prism solo does not get taken out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, these chargelets are actually going to be able to chase away the bio, it seems.
Yeah, it looks like the Warpin was back at home instead. Spirit is running out of steam, but across the map, the War Prism survives, and we still have 2 Colossi.
Yeah, and they absolutely shrink through the SCVs and everything else, really. Even a force field for good measure. Because why the hell not?
Ooh, one Colossus is going to get targeted down by some of these Marauders. So far, great target firing there by Spirit, but every single SCV falls. They were all trapped at the natural.
Yeah, now how good can this Warp Prism juggle? If Warp Prism could ever jug... That was a rhyme. I don't remember it.
It's okay, Bobby, it's okay. Meanwhile, back at home, Zel's clean everything up. There's only a handful of units remaining. God, look at how low these medevacs are. No, they've run across the Phoenix.
That one Phoenix has so many medevac kills on it. Liberator's actually doing a pretty good job of zoning away this Warp Prism. With the Colossus inside of it, it will get taken out. So that's a tiny victory here for Spirit. In the face of the fact that his economy's in shambles.
It's almost non-existent at this point, mate. He's got less than a full base left of mining right now between what he has. Meanwhile, MaNa, even though he lost a lot of his production, he was able to save his workers. He was very quick to respond there. And the medevacs, they get scattered as they try to get into the main.
One more volley will take out that medevac, and the other medevac will drop full of Marines. But what can it really get done here? Liberator is actually sneaking into a couple of mineral lines where the workers are vulnerable.
Yeah, you're not wrong here. Meanwhile, the medevac is going to be going down. The Phoenixes are going to force that to unload and commit. At the same time, reinforcements come in to face off with the Stalkers. The Spirit's going to trade quite well here overall, but oh my god, he drags the mine shot!
That's all of the bio reinforcements taken out.
I don't know if that drag was intentional or not. But
in a way,
it did kill the Marines.
It does, yeah. Until further notice, I'm gonna say it was intentional.
Yeah. 100%.
Unless MaNa would like to contest that.
At the same time, Liberators are finally being cleaned up. It's taking a while though, so MaNa's economy isn't as amazing as it should be. But he's moving out across the map. He comes across the main army of Spirit. Desperately, he's been trying to pull apart his opponent, been trying to somehow stop the economy that is MaNa, and he just can't pull it off.
Yeah, meanwhile, MaNa is well aware that that's pretty much the last army, the last units that Spirit has at his disposal. So he's just chasing it down, or chasing them down wherever he can.
Yeah, and it looks like MaNa's just gonna push, and there's almost nothing left at home. Like, Spirit sent all of his army across the map in these medevac drops, and I don't blame him, but MaNa recognizes that, I mean, I can just recall whenever I want.
Or not even that, I can just warp in back at home. You have nothing.
You have nothing, but there's that recall back towards the triangular third base, forces a lift up of that drop. At the same time, another double drop on the right-hand side is going to be cleaned up. GG gets called, and MaNa takes the first game.
Very nice little back and forth that we've had here. Yeah, again, it definitely felt like MaNa was a little bit more in control than Spirit was, but it's not like Spirit was totally out of control. Like, he was still doing a lot, and he still had a lot of opportunities to try to take control of that game and, again, just be very, very active wherever he could. Unfortunately, it seemed like MaNa had a response each and every time.
That's the thing, right? Like, I was really impressed by the harassment of Spirit. You know, he was moving out with drops, with Liberators as well. Like, he was being very active on the map. It was really cool. But from the very start, it felt like his first couple of waves were caught by MaNa, and he just had full vision. He was always in position. He was keeping up with all of this like multi-pronged harassment of Spirit, which was really impressive to see. And because Spirit was committing so much to this, once they failed, then he didn't really have too much behind it.
Yeah, he really didn't. But if anything, I think that game bodes well for the rest of the series as we load into game number 2 here. I'm expecting something very, very close on Cosmic Sapphire. Over here in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in that top left-hand corner, we of course have our, red. That's the word I was thinking of, red Terran player coming down from the land of Poland. He is of course going to be representing KZ Gaming, KZG. He is Spirit.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have his opponents also hailing from the land of Poland. Representing Team Liquid, he's up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. It is MaNa.
Now I have a bit of a confession to make.
Go for it.
I did not realize in the last game that I was following MaNa's camera the entire time. Until now when I hit 3 and I'm like, wait, what? Oh, this is a replay. Wait, was I following last game?
That's impressive, actually. That's impressive that you casted a game from from one player's POV, but you were also keeping up with a lot of what I was saying. So it also shows that MaNa was very aware of everything that was happening. Oh my god.
Yeah, map vision.
But also, it must have been a little bit erratic. How did you not realize? Like, oh my god,
I only realized now.
Switching between the bases?
I only realize now when I'm getting into when it displays who would you like to follow? Everyone? I'm like, no, let me follow Indy like I did last time. Like, wait.
Shaking my head. Shaking my head. As MaNa is switching things up here in game number 2, of course, Cosmic Sapphire, the largest map in the map pool, we do see he went for a Zealot first, and he's going for a proxy in the middle of the map.
You love to see it, or at least I do. I'm sure if Spirit ever sees that, he's not going to be loving it.
Oh yeah, meanwhile this SCV scout is pretty important because he doesn't just spot the Zealot, he also confirms that both gases have been taken and that the second pylon is missing.
Yeah, he's going to be scouting around just about everywhere now to try to figure out what is coming his way, or at least he will. Once he has units available to him, he skipped out on the Reaper actually. Wait, did he? Yeah, he did skip out on the Reaper. He went Marine into a reactor. Wait, unless... he didn't skip out on the Reaper. He did skip out on the Reaper.
Yeah. He did go Marine first. Because he recognizes something was amiss, we already have a bunker here on the high ground as well. Cyclone is going to be on the way, so Spirit... Oh, actually, no. Instead of going for the Cyclone, he goes for the tank instead. Uh-oh.
He thinks that a Robo is coming his way.
Yeah.
It's a proxy Robo.
Exactly, and unfortunately that means he's going to have that much less to defend for anti-air. The first Oracle is already coming out. Meanwhile, MaNa goes for a Ninja!
Dude, that's a gold base.
Mate, he's an animal. He's crazy. Oh my god.
Well, why the hell not? He sees the bunker being made in the main base. He knows that Spirit is going to be contained so long in this one base, at least until he finishes up a medevac that can potentially go across the map. Why not? MaNa has complete control of the map right now, especially now that he has 2 oracles out.
Mate, this feels like MaNa's bullying Spirit. Not gonna lie. Like, this is crazy. Like, Spirit is hyper defensive right now because of the opener. He cancels his bunker. He did make his CC on the high ground. He went 1-1-1. He's playing very, very safe right now. But at any moment, these oracles are going to slip on in, and he just doesn't really have much of anything. Like, he has no idea what's happening right now at all.
He really doesn't. He's repositioning. At the very least, he has a ton of Marines, but they're going to be vanilla Marines. They might be able to deal well against the oracles, but I have to imagine that MaNa's not going to be neglecting his gateway production, especially because we have Blink on the way.
Yeah, we have Blink on the way. We have plenty of minerals as well. There's the recall to saturate the gold base. Meanwhile, the army moves out. The Adepts are going to spot this, and immediately MaNa's like, oh, your Marines are on the map? Okay, let me go in with not just 2 oracles, with 3 oracles.
Yeah, let me just completely annihilate your mineral lines, and then worry about that potential push that you're throwing across the map. Spirit will scout this gold, surprisingly.
Spirit makes a beeline for the gold base, so I have to imagine this has happened before.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to take down every single one of these workers. So Spirit is doing a lot of counter damage, but across the map, he has 0 mining. Actually, 0 mining.
Yeah, compare that to Spirit, or compare that to MaNa, who has also lost a lot of probes, but is still mining from that main base. Spirit apparently has 18 workers, but they are just, they're off the mineral line.
Yeah, finally they do start remining here in the main base. Spirit is going for a drop into the main of MaNa. He has 2 tanks and he has 13 Marines. Let's go. Spirit has to try and make this work. But if I'm not mistaken, okay, Blink isn't done yet, but we do have some defensive stalkers. Up.
Yeah, and Blink is about to finish up pretty soon, regardless.
Oh my god, the target firing so far. 1 tank is on half HP, but he is able to siege.
Yeah, that's going to be enough for Spirit to keep this foothold alive. Blink finally going to be finishing up now.
Yeah, one tank does go down. We only have one tank remaining here. We still have 3 oracles with plenty of energy as well. MaNa is waiting for the moment. He blinks on forward and he takes down the tank.
And the tank is taken out. These Marines suddenly aren't so scary.
Yeah, especially because, as you said, that they don't have stim, they don't have combat shields, that they don't have much of anything.
Yeah, they don't even have medevac support anymore. Like, hello?
Oh. Yeah.
And then the medevac goes down.
The medevac gets sniped out of the sky. The Marines get cleaned up. Spirit is expanding behind this. The economy is looking relatively even, so let's not
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Let's not downplay the fact that MaNa did lose an entire base and a lot of probes. So because of that, but oh my god, Spirit, he knows that he can't hold him to his natural. Wow.
And immediately lifts up. But just the fact that he does have this extra orbital command is a massive advantage. As long as he's able to land it and he is able to produce SCVs, he can just Maynard them over eventually.
Yeah, that should be what he decides to do at some point. But will MaNa ever allow him to expand? With enough tanks, we should be able to leapfrog forward. Meanwhile, we do have high ground vision. If MaNa wants, we could try and blink into the main.
Yeah, he was definitely considering it for a little bit. You could see it in the movement of those stalkers, but then he realized that there were 2 tanks there, and yeah, he thought better of it.
I can't handle MaNa right now.
Yeah.
He retakes the gold. He's double expanding.
Oh, he'll do it again. You know, second time's a charm.
Oh my god.
It could get taken out 10 more times after this. And MaNa's still gonna do it again. I love his commitment.
He's double expanding, he's taking the gold, and he's going for a Dark Shrine.
Yep. We have thrown orthodoxy out the window.
I'm like, MaNa, he's your countryman. Leave him alone.
That's why he's bullying him so hard.
Oh, he's like, there can be only one. The winner of this group will be the best in Poland, and
at least until we face a laser.
At least until then, yeah. And oh my god, I mean, Spirit, he's slowly expanding, you know, he's slowly regaining control of his natural base. But because he's been stuck on 2 bases or even 1 base for so long, oh my god, we haven't blinked into the main base. The tank is gonna go down, and maybe even blink. Sorry, stim.
Yeah, he's focusing it. The Terran blink, as I like to call it. Stim does get denied.
Ay ay ay.
So much bullying, my god.
There's no stim, so these vanilla Marines will stay vanilla, especially because there is no backup tech. Oh, so there we go. There is the backup tech lab, thank god. So stim is resumed, but the stalkers are coming back. They want more.
They're just waiting for Blink to come off of cooldown. They really want to get on top of that tank. Resetting the tank count is probably one of the best things you can do as a Protoss player in PvT. Win the fight before it happens, essentially.
Yeah, at the same time, one DT tries to slip in towards the natural, but there's a missile turret, and the tanks do take it down immediately, so thankfully the DTs will not be ending the game here. But MaNa still has a lot of freedom, still has a lot of control.
He really does. Spirit's gonna scout the gold base again.
Yeah, the Viking is on the way towards the south. Meanwhile, the Stalkers, they blink on forward once again. The 3rd CC is delayed. He tries to target down Stim. It does get down to half HP.
Would it be worth it to try to just into these Stalkers onto the tech lab?
Maybe.
Actually. I guess we'll never know.
He could do it again. Like,
we'll never know.
It's not being repaired. He could do it again. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the Viking did land at the gold base, but we had a warp in of Zealots, so the Viking does get forced back. Unfortunately, Spirit knows about the base, but he can't quite do much about it.
Sim's gonna get denied again.
Oh my god.
And this time, there is no other tech lab to fall back to. Oh wait, actually there is, but it's research and combat shield?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have combat shields before Stim. It's a little bit smudged. The Stalkers are finally going to get cleaned up. At the same time, the Charge Lots and the DTs are just ramming in towards the natural base. The tank goes down immediately. The bunker is standing strong. The repairs, is it enough?
Apparently, he is losing a couple SCVs, but he's also killing probes across the map with that Viking.
Yeah, did get a little bit of damage there with that Viking. Meanwhile, we have a drop coming out here across the map. It looks like MaNa's going to try and trade, though, again. Bear in mind, this army doesn't have Stim.
Yeah, it does have plus combat shield though. Can survive one more volley
The
from
Stalkers,
the Adepts.
they're coming to intercept. They're coming. They're coming. Ah!
And they will take out both medevacs and just about everything. Meanwhile, at the gold base, we do have a little warp in of Adepts here that will be able to clean this out as well. 51 probes, and mind you, 19 of those 51 probes are mining at a gold base versus 39 SCPs.
Yeah, I mean, again, props to Spirit for trying to move out with these drops and trying to deal some counter damage, but because of MaNa's presence in the map, every single time he's always there to respond. He's always in position. He hunts down whatever drops he can, and Spirit just hasn't really been able to do much to slow MaNa down.
It really hasn't. In fact, we have the exact opposite. There were multiple times where Spirit was just building up so he could go for a counter push, go for a bit of a timing, but MaNa has slowed it down by so much just by delaying Stim, just by containing him on these two bases.
No, but we're 12 minutes into the game.
Tank count.
Yeah, the tank gets taken out in the main base, but Stim is finally done.
Let's go! Alright. Time to push.
Let's go pull all the boys, mate. There's no way. Spirit, he can't believe that he can try to get out of this in a macro game. He goes for a scan across the map, confirming, ooh, second robo just finished. We have double Disruptor. Sorry, double Colossi production.
This one DT swiping away. Because why not? Yeah, I'm definitely with you. I'm definitely with you on that, Light. I do think that it's going to be very difficult for Spirit to macro out his position, especially now that his third orbital is going down. But he isn't fully committing to the push. He's able to take out the gold base, which is a huge pick off, but I doubt it's going to be enough.
Mate, these three oracles from the start of the game are still alive. We do see every worker going down. Even though Spirit did take down the Nexus, I believe the probes were evacuated prematurely, so MaNa did keep them all alive. And here we go, Spirit is going for one final push into the natural.
Oh, the Colossus are exposed. He is able to take out both of them, but they were able to swipe away at the bio a little bit. They were able to weaken them. Hey, look at that. Another Colossus is out now.
Third Colossi comes out. That overcharge is putting in a lot of work. The sentry won't die! Oh my god! He was target firing the sentry and refused to die.
That's why sentries are the MVP. GG is called. MaNa takes that series 2-0. What a crazy intense Polish TvP that we got here.
That was crazy. GG, well played. What MaNa did that game was both beautiful and disgusting at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, against international law. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he can stick around in Atlanta much longer after that.
Yeah.
God, he was just relentless when it came to his aggression and also just getting the gold base over and over and over again. He was just, it's like he was trying to make a point.
If that game continued from there, he would have taken that gold again.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh my god. GG, congratulations here to Spirits. Really flexing his PVT here. Like, I'll be honest, in this series, it didn't feel like Spirit had much of a fighting chance, and I don't think that's, I'm not saying anything bad about, like, Spirit's play. Like, he's a great player, but, like, MaNa just, was in full control of that. Jesus.
Yeah, game number one was definitely very back and forth. Favorite MaNa a little bit because of his offensive style, but Spirit definitely was able to force a couple of opportunities for himself. Game number two, though, it felt like MaNa was just pinning Spirit to the floor for the entirety of that game.
It did, and I wanted to help him, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, someone help this man. Oh
like,
my
tag
God.
out. He's like trying to tag out of the ring.
Yeah.
But nobody's available to tag out.
Someone throw in the towel.
Somebody jump in and just whack him with the steel chair.
Look, just 12 minutes stim timing is all I have to say about that game.
Yeah. And that's not a dig at Spirit. That was just how active and how impressive MaNa was being with his Blink Stalkers. Just deny that upgrade over and over and over again. If the first stim wasn't denied, he would have gotten stim like at around the 7:30, 8-minute mark or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. He would have been able to be much more active. He would have expanded faster as well, establish his natural, establish his third. His drops would have been more threatening. Like, Stim is such an important upgrade for Terran. It is pretty vital, to be honest, unless you're playing mech, which doesn't really happen too often in this matchup.
This is why I propose that if the tech lab is researching Stim, it cannot, it doesn't take any damage, or it gains like 50 armor.
Like, if a tech lab is researching Stim, it cannot die, okay?
Yeah. Has to be like that sentry at the end of that game.
Oh my god. Just like that sentry. Yeah, I see some people in the chat bringing it up as well. Yeah, that was insane to see towards the end. Also,
all it took was for Spirit to lose that game. But you know what? We're getting batteries removed, nerfed, not removed.
Hey, calm down, buddy. Okay,
wishful thinking on my end. Freudian slip.
There you go.
Mixed with wishful thinking on my end.
I also wanted to give a shout out to Freestyle in the chat as well, just because of the old school emotes. A bit of a throwback to base trade TV. You don't see those too often anymore, the emotes. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're enjoying it.
I think the old man with gun, like the Carbot Marine for the longest time, that I used anyway, was from base trade.
Oh, true. Yeah. They did have one back in the day as well. Oh boy. But yeah, with that, congratulations to MaNa. He moves on to the winners match. Spirit gets knocked down to the elimination match, and now we're here to find out who makes it out of Group B in first place. Is it a Laser or MaNa?